All right, let's podcast. It's Thursday. It's about 40 minutes after we're supposed to be here.
It's okay.
But hit your light there, too. First of all, breaking news. We're in the studio together.
Look at that. We did. Hey, can we touch?
We
touch? Look at that. We did it.
We did it. We're just 40 minutes late. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm Joe Giglio, joined by Hayes Permar. Joe Ovius is down in Florida. He's down in Florida. I saw his pictures
in the national parks,
and then he went to Disney.
Oh yeah, and then he just decided he accidentally fell into Disney. We were between national parks, and by accident we just ended up at Disney World. What are the odds? Yes, he was down there.
Amazing. So we made it work for 3 days when we weren't together, but now here we are together. And this is a Thursday, which means it's a Sleek Fleet Live. Okay.
Can I know we're going there real quick. Can I do something real quick?
Yeah.
Can I just, as a fan of the podcast,
yes,
and of you guys personally, I have to say we're turning that down. I'm too loud.
I forgot how crazy loud you are.
I'm too loud. I talk too fast. I need to slow everything down. I'm sorry, especially for our 1.5 listeners out there.
Yeah, Aaron Beard shouts.
I mean this in a good way. I've enjoyed seeing you guys hustle, but also a little bit have to hustle.
Right.
Like, if you saw what newspaper life was from the start of your career to the end, right? Yeah. And like what having an expense tab is, and being able to, and not having to even work for credentials, just assuming they're guaranteed because you're part of some bigger company and they just naturally fall to you. Both of you guys have earned everything you've gotten, but you've worked for bigger companies that, made things. And seeing you guys hustle a little bit, again, the part of me that loves you is proud to see you hustle. And the part of me that, is, in whatever way I like to see you guys work, it's been fun to see you have to hustle a little bit. And so seeing you work, and I mean this as a friend, truly, seeing you, because I've been there, man. I have grabbed 8 pieces of equipment that, like, if they set up in any other way than the one way I have to, they're not going to work. Seeing you do a big time interview at a cool downtown restaurant, pick up all the stuff, come here, juggling stuff. It's very cool. Everyone who supports you should be proud of what they're doing, because I am, and they should see how hard you guys work to make this thing happen. So
that was very nice.
Good work. And yes, behind the scenes, this is way harder than it ever looks. Even when you had big corporate overheads, your jobs were harder than just watching sports and talking and writing about them. But especially now that you have to do all these things, produce at the end of the show, I know how much work there is getting all that stuff loaded up. So it's cool watching you guys do it. It's been cool seeing it some from the inside this week. I know how hard you guys work. I'm proud of both of you. I'm glad I can help in any way, not wreck the ship, including getting out of the way of your sponsored segment. Sorry, I'll shut up.
Well, we're always here thanks to our friends at Copiers Plus. But on Thursdays, we have Sleek Fleet Live. You go to sleek-fleet.com, and Tyler and his crew are going to take care of you. That's number one, including, but not limited to, airport runs. So last night, I'm on a planes, trains, and automobile run to get back from Omaha to Raleigh because I had a scheduled interview and I wanted to get things done. And plus, I while you're saying nice things about me, I did not mean for you to be like, hey, Joe, let's do 4 shows together. First of all, I didn't know you were going to do all 4.
Yeah, I forgot that you guys did 4. I thought it was Monday. Anyway, don't worry about it.
So I was like, okay, cool. Lucy, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And Ken as well. So yes, Ken, Oz for sure. So first of all, thank you for doing all 4 shows. Second of all, thank you for working with me while I'm in Omaha for 3 of those days. I know. And third of all, now I have become a master of wasting your fucking time, man.
We're good.
So I apologize profusely for that. I do. But it's all for good reasons. It's because we're now here finally together. And yes, today is a Sleek Fleet Live. And last night, coming back from the airport, listen, I hate that on certain apps you can't schedule a ride, and then sometimes you schedule them and like, are you sure they're going to pick you up? One thing I know for sure, when you get in touch with Sleek Fleet, sleek-fleet.com, Tyler and his crew are going to be there. Even if they have to rent a car, they're going to be there. Even if they are stretched thin, they're going to be there. You need to run from Greenville to the airport because your son can't rent a car yet. He's only 19 years old. That's the kind of effort you're going to get from Sleek Fleet, above and beyond the call of duty. So let me pop up the Heister Automotive Group hotline because we are here together. There he is, my man, Tyler. First of all, Tyler, thank you again for last night.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
I appreciate you. Now, second of all, have you recovered from the U.S. Open? Because I know that was a huge week for you and your crew.
Yeah, it took a couple of days to get back in the swing of things, but we definitely we had a very great week. Definitely a lot of bookings, corporate events. It turned out very well, and everybody was satisfied. And look forward to the next golf event, the PGA Championship coming up, and that's part of
in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When you were like checking your cars for runs, was it like number one, make sure the brakes work? Number two, make sure the AC works. I imagine people like stepping off the course were like, please have it cranked so that when I step in, it is like frigid in there. AC had to be key for you guys.
Yes, AC was very important. I did have a call where a person did take a trip and the AC went out, and we were able to take care of that swiftly and get them back to RDU and get out of Pinehurst.
Good stuff.
With AC.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give away things because you might have had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, but there was a big cat sighting for you this week, wasn't there?
There was. We did have a corporate event where we took down 2 guests, and they went to a special event for Tiger Woods, and those are the kind of trips that we cater to. We love the corporate travel, just your average anything. We'll take good care of you. Yes, sir.
Ovis is not here, so I have to make sure. How am I doing, by the way? You have a computer.
Pretty good.
How we looking?
Great.
I'm
You're doing
looking
great.
pretty good. With
All
the
right.
comments are rolling in.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing
I'm
good.
not, like, does he respond to comments?
No,
I've thought about doing that.
He tries to make sure that I don't, like, because I get easily distracted, and he knows this.
I can see that.
So yeah, I'm all proud of myself. We're 3 wide here. We're in the beautiful Eford Studios. Thanks to our friends at Empire Eats, Empire Properties, and Greg Hayden. Always appreciating and him and his support. So, Tyler, what's next? Because I was talking to you a little bit last night. I love going over to Walnut Creek for shows, but they have a new setup with parking and some other things where they're charging people. And I feel like I become a mosquito meal on my walk over there. I feel like my next show over there for the Doobie Brothers needs to be with Sleek Fleet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or it might be Michael McDonald, but either way.
Yep.
Go ahead. So they have changed the traffic pattern a little bit, but it's not nothing that changes the actual pickup process for Sleek at all. They do kind of push you in another direction now as far as the parking lot goes, but they do allow us as far as transportation to come in and be kind of waiting there for you guys as soon as you walk right out the gate. Absolutely.
Driving to Walnut Creek has always been a sucker's game.
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
If you have like 30 people and you're not taking 6 different Sleep Fleets, like get a van or whatever, get a bus. But if you're like 4 or 5, absolutely get Sleek Fleet.
Yeah.
Walnut Creek's a great place. Always been a sucker's game driving there. I think summertime is and as we've already mentioned, the AC is working great. And so usually when you're headed out to the Walnut Creek at 6 o'clock, you want to be in AC as much as possible.
So
it's gonna be warm.
2 or 3 people pass out at the Dave Matthews show.
Yeah,
because the air was so
hot,
so warm.
Oh my god!
But also, if we can offer as well a tailgate package, so if you want to go to Walnut Creek and you want to spend more time, bring some friends over and all that, we do offer that as well. So definitely can reach out for us, and we can definitely get you a quote for that.
Sleek-fleet.com. Tyler knows the way to my heart. Hayes is not a golf snob. He's like the opposite of a golf snob, so he doesn't really care.
Gotcha.
But these are Pro V's Sleek Fleet logo.
No,
Yes,
I love when I hit into the woods and I go into the woods and find Pro V's. I'm like, it's probably been here 2 years. It's the best golf ball I'm playing with, baby.
Right.
So I'll be looking for those. I'll have my eye out for some Sleek, and I'll know who hit them too.
Now you know.
Now you know. Now you know.
We did have one. This is a random story, but have you ever had a logo that specific that ended up somewhere weird where it's like I assume you haven't made 1,000 of those golf balls.
No,
right?
not 1,000, but we have made a few boxes.
So, okay, all right. So, but I've had a place where I vacationed for the longest time with my family in the summer, and somebody from a random golf course in Briar Creek sent me an email. I was like, isn't this the place you always talk about? And you're like, there aren't that many people walking around. So then you're wondering, like, it's not me, but like, is that a ball that I hit at some course in Raleigh that somebody else picked up and then hit errantly somewhere else? So you never know when bad golfers are sharing good golf balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be the case.
So I failed you.
Okay.
Do you want to hit the meeting button? Maybe. Do we need to have a meeting?
All I got up there is sound effects right now. Do you want me to switch over? No, hold on.
Meeting is just megaphone. Hit that button again. Do you see robot? Try that.
I hit megaphone.
There it is.
What? Oh, this is a show meeting. A show meeting.
I texted Ovius yesterday and I'm like, hey man, and I go, the buttons, like what's the deal? And he goes, you have to be in mic 1. So as an homage to my partner, I was in mic 2 in Omaha. I don't plug into mic 1. I'm not mic 1. I'm not in charge. So today
I can just
Play with
Okay. Yes, okay.
Don't make me regret the decision.
Just hey, look, I planned on coming in here. Remember PTI back in the day?
Yeah.
The first I was ever introduced to Dan Le Batard was when he would show up at PTI and he would come in and it was almost like they must like the guy because they invited him, but his whole vibe was like, I'm going to come and mess this place up. You know, they're like, don't do it. Do you remember him? Like, that was, I do. I feel like Ovius, who, if nothing else, has tried to model his entire career after Dan Le Batard, would appreciate me coming in with a high reverence for the show, but also coming in pretending like all I'm trying to do is mess things up. And if we were in here all week, I would have gotten to play with voice modulators in a way that hopefully would unnerve him, but also be endearing.
The reason for the meeting, though, is I failed you because of that previously scheduled interview in getting 2 roosters. So we got to make sure that we hit up the 2 roosters after our program today.
Right.
How's that sound?
All right, that works.
Okay, perfect. All right, Tyler. So let people know the best way, other than maybe even sleek-fleet.com, to get with you guys. And you even have a giveaway, a promo?
Yeah,
what do we got? I can type this up, watch this. Go ahead. So
we're doing a giveaway right now. Well, it's not so much a giveaway; it's a discount. We're doing OG Live. If you go in and call or book with us, we'll do the 10% off.
Okay.
And again, that's OG Live.
That's the code.
Yes, sir.
On sleek-fleet.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And you can also reach us at 919-335-8840.
8840.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Watch this. Let's see what I got. There we go. OG Live is our code on sleek-fleet.com or call 919-335-8840 and you got a discount?
Got the discount OG Live for 10% off. Also, we will be giving away a free sleeve of Pro V1s with the Sleek logo as
the
well.
logo. So I got these.
You don't have to go into the woods out of bounds on Eagle Ridge.
Well, you can scatter them around if you want. I've been around and trademarked a few myself, I can promise.
You can get a fresh box, not ones that Joe Giglio has sprayed into the out of bounds at Eagle Ridge.
Yes, sir.
Well, I can't recommend Tyler's service enough. Again, use that promo code OG Live, save 10%.
Yes, sir.
Go to sleek-fleet.com, 919-335-8840.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, you'll be able to help some people with some runs to the Rialto. I'm over here being greedy talking about concerts. Like David Cook. I need to ride to David Cook.
No, we do need to talk. One of the things that comes up all the time, they're like, your parking stinks. And I'm like, I know, it's 2024. Like there's like 18 apps and plenty of cool places that'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Actually, we should legitimately talk to see if
absolutely
like a ticket to the Rialto could maybe get you a discount or something. We'll not going to put you in pressure on the air.
Absolutely.
Talk about that.
OG Live, that's 10%. So
there we go.
Just start for you there, but
there we go.
We can do that.
OG Live, use that to get to the Rialto.
Tyler, before I let you go, you are a big hockey fan. Are you okay watching this Oilers-Panthers series, or have you been more locked into the golf?
Well, I was locked into the golf for the Open, but the Panthers did pretty well this year, so I do give them credit for that. So honestly, I could go for Edmonton just because we did what we did to them in 2006. So I'm either way, honestly. The Hurricanes, the Rangers aren't in it anymore, so I don't have any team to pull for. You always pull for the team that beat the team that you pull for.
You're one of those people.
Well, in my mind, I mean, if I'm going to watch it, I'd rather watch the team that beat us. So.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
I got you. All right. Well, again, airport, concerts, the Rialto for a comedy show, or to go see Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
I can't believe you're going to pull that off, man. That's bonkers.
He's coming.
That's big time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
For all of your needs, all your transportation needs. I know summer's busy. A lot of times you might want to just go out downtown without worrying about, hey, I got to have 1 beer or 2 beers. So do yourself a favor.
Or even a wedding. We do weddings. Any event, we can cater to any type of event that you may can come across. So that's us.
Let's do it. Use that promo code OG Live on sleek-fleet.com or give Tyler a call, 919-335-8840. All right, Tyler, I'm going to give you the baton to go to bring Demetri in here, so
Absolutely.
we'll do some summer radio shenanigans nonsense together.
Yep.
And I'm gonna do some ads too.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
You don't need to ask our permission. Just do it.
Well, I mean,
what's this?
You know, I like to narrate like a Bond villain what's going on and what's not going on. So I'm working on it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right,
well, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course.
Look forward to
great to meet you, man.
Yes, sir.
I will get you. Well. I will get you Hayes' number. I'll make sure that you guys connect.
Yep, we will. Thank you.
All right. Let me hit the brand button. Let me hit a transfer. We're going to need a DraftKings. I mean, where are you, Hayes? Usually you're picking me up here.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. I'm vamping. So I was going to sing, hey now, don't dream it's over. You know why?
Why?
We got a crowded house here today.
Yeah,
we do.
A crowded house.
It's slightly warm,
but
too.
then I was like, well, could I get a crowded house at the Rialto? But it looks like they're playing Cocoa Booth, so they're still pulling maybe crowds a little bit too big for the Rialto. So.
All right. Let's see. I got the button now.
All right.
I saw him. He didn't know what to do, man. He got him all messed up.
I do know how to get your house clean, though. Go to enovana.com. That's enovana.com. The jingle's on there somewhere, but I don't trust your ability to find the jingle because I think you have to hit that one arrow button and then do some other things.
I was doing some arrow, but
hold on. If you have mess inside your mansion, check them out. It's enovana.com. Yes, Jean, one of our great listeners, one of the OGs, she was trying to tell me, listen, we know what you've really been up to. You were over at Nature's Relief, and then you went to Two Roosters. No, Jean, I promise I was doing actual work, but you can hit up Nature's Relief. All you got to do, what'd you find there?
Hey, you do the reads. I'll manage the comments.
Well, but you can't do it over the brand, though.
Oh, right? Hey, when an ITV commenter comments about an ITV PGA golfer with an ITV substitute host, we are going to show these comments. All due respect to Nature's Relief. Sorry, you're
totally fair. Nature's Relief, hempstore.com. They're in Garner. They're the OG peddler off of Glenwood. They're also off of Western Boulevard. Check them out. It's Nature's Relief, RELEAF, hempstore.com for all of your chiller needs, as I like to call them. We got drinks, we got gummies, you name it. They've got it. So go check them out. And maybe afterwards you're like, I'm hungry. That's been known to happen. Check out the long leaf wine on Edenton and Person. There's always parking on Edenton. There's money on the banana stand, and there's always parking on it. Not during the read, sir.
Well, thanks for reading, and I'm okay. I'm cool with long leaves. So you're not going to catch any heat from this.
Long leaves wine. Yes, they have barbecue. Yes, they have brisket. Yes, they have all those things that you love. Get the chicken pot pie, and then you can thank me later. All right, we got the long leaf swan out of the way.
I've been supporting long leaf swan since they were like a pop-up only. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
They were catering like long before they were restaurants. So I have the right to interrupt them just a little bit.
Okay.
But I will say, you, sir, are a fraud. There is not always parking on Edenton Street. There's like more parking on Person Street. You just have to go a little bit further down past Gringo a Go-Go towards the governor's mansion. Yeah. But I literally think about that because you're good. Like when you say phrases over and over, you know, you think about them, right? Like that's what jingles are. And so I've pulled up to Longleaf and be like, there's always parking. It's a lot. It's just a lot. Okay. As a guy who runs a business with zero parking, they have on the weekends, you're fine. The post office parking lot is good. Okay. But do not listen to Joe Giglio. It's a clever catchphrase, but there is not always parking on Edenton Street. Okay. Take Sleek Fleet there if you need to.
That's fair.
There's not always parking on Edenton Street. I've got to be real about this. Sorry.
Okay, well, if you need to save money to use Sleek Fleet, go to Matt Davis at State Farm. That's Matt Davis, insuregarner.com, or you can give him a call, 919-779-8277. Do yourself a favor. Make sure you're saving on all of your home, auto, life insurance, pet insurance, you name it. You've got it over there at State Farm with Matt Davis in Garner. My guy, insuregarner.com. All right, we got two more. We got two of your favorites. We got the Butcher's Market. Hayes, I know, speaking of places that you frequent, the Butcher's Market, home base there on Lake Boone is probably not. Is that the one you go to? Or Or are you still Six Forks and
yeah,
old school noose?
Technically now, because you guys have claimed that one, I have intentionally avoided it
At a protest.
So
Okay.
yes, I don't go there. So no, I randomly go Millbrook and Falls of the News. Yes.
Okay.
Make sure you call it Falls of the
Falls
News.
of the News.
I
got the wrong.
No.
Where's
not
my
the
emphasis? Oh.
Just make sure the "the" is in there. Falls of the News.
I'm setting a record for ad reads before content, so I'm just gonna keep going. Last one, Hometown Realty, myhtr.com, for all of your buy, sell with confidence. They got a mortgage calculator on there too. 6 locations from here to the coast. I'm back in the studio. I can say it. I got my sayings down. More than 250 agents. Buy and sell with confidence. It's myhtr.com. All right, now we got to find a transition. Let's go. All right, let me add him to the stage because I think you can hear his voice. Demetri Ravanos.
Oh, add him to the stage.
Add him to the stage would be a great
There we go.
Hey, add him to the stage.
All right, so if you haven't figured it out yet, it's just not a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sit here and lie to you like we got a lot to get into today.
We've heard you guys have those kind of discussions before about whether or not there is a lot to get into. But
There's a little bit to get into news-wise with the NCAA tournament and a potential expansion. I'll start there because according to CBS and some others, the NCAA,
hold on.
Yeah.
Can I start somewhere, especially if it is a slow news day?
Yeah.
Is that a Nature's Relief hat?
This is a hat I bought at Nature's Relief that obviously is
just for marijuana and shit.
Yeah. I was gonna, before I went all in on torching you for it, I want to make sure
it's for my people.
Okay, I was bought as a sponsor's place. Okay. But like you're just wearing a weed hat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I just
It's like the
wanted to get that
real
out of the
tree of
way.
head shops.
I was making sure that I wasn't like there's not some sports team in
no.
Europe that
Oregon,
you're actually
Portland,
representing here.
Amsterdam.
Okay.
All right. So news from CBS on Wednesday, NCAA officials presented the Division I conference commissioners with at least 2 different models that could expand the NCAA tournament field to either 72 or 76 teams. Matt Norlander confirmed through multiple sources. If passed, the NCAA's plans for expansion would not take effect until the 26th NCAA tournament. Obviously, right now, there are 68 teams in the NCAA tournament. Listen, I'm one of those people. If they could make the whole plan out of the black box, they should. If they made the whole season an NCAA tournament, I'd be like, cool. Like I don't get these people like the dude from CBS, the annoying guy. You're Rothstein. When he wakes up every day as a gift, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
He's out tweeting this morning. Don't even think about expanding the Why?
People like him does make it easier to be like, well, maybe I should be on the other side. I'll at least. I'm not sure where I live, but when I hear him, I'm like, the other side, please.
72 doesn't seem any different than 68, right? It just makes all of those spots instead of 2 of them play-in games.
You're giving more playing games.
Yeah.
And I think without knowing
for the fine people of Dayton.
Yeah, without knowing the full plan, I'm all for all of those play-in spots being at large spots and letting those true 16 seeds who do qualify be in the actual tournament proper.
All right. The only flip side I've heard, I think Moten is
also,
one.
by the way, Demetri's crazy loud, so hit me on mic 3 just a little bit down. Perfect.
Not
that much.
Man, sorry.
Don't worry, I can compensate. I've been doing this for a long time.
We got enough producers in the room. They'll figure it out. Moten, I think, is one who will tell you, no, put me in the play-in. I have a chance to win a game. I get my guys get to experience a win. We get paid.
True.
We get paid for a win
more.
in Dayton. You don't get paid for losing in St. Louis or whatever it is. So he made the case of I tended to be with you, but like in that situation, I'm like, no, we should ask the guy who runs a underdog program that when they make it to the NCAA tournament, these are the people we're talking about. Did you earn your way into the field of 64? Or are you okay with setting up a situation where you might win a game?
Can I add the more cynical version of Giglio's proposal that I think is more likely what they're going to go with? If you're giving me more games, give me more games featuring teams people will watch. Like, give me that 9th team out of the ACC or 9th team out of the Big Ten going against one another instead of NC Central and whoever.
So here would be my only. Ultimately, it makes sense with math, right? Like at one point there was 48 teams, right? Didn't we go?
Yeah, it was 30. Well, it was 16 to 32 to
48.
48.
which would have been kind of like a play-in round for a field of 32.
Yeah,
you know?
when NC State won the national championship in '83, they were in a play-in round.
Yeah,
they were one of the 48. Yes,
so they had to win 6 games,
Yes.
but other teams might have only had to win 5 to win the whole thing. And I wasn't there then, so I don't know if people were like, "You're ruining the tournament by going from 30." 64 and the bracket era, and I assume the whole office pool era came about more in the 64 team. So I understand the willingness to hold to that. But yes, if the math is, well, it was 32 teams when we had 100 Division I basketball programs, and the number has gone up. It should allow the same chunk of teams into that final tournament that it always has percentage-wise. But the only thing I would ask is, the best argument for me to not expanding it has always been, there is the tournament is expanded to the conference tournaments.
Right.
Everyone is, to your point, once we start March, it is all made out of the black box.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that the 15th seed in the Atlantic 10 isn't going to run the table, and then maybe an ACC school or a Big East school could run the table in their conference tournament and actually still then be a contender in the NCAA tournament. You're not going to see that in the Atlantic 10. But is there a way to maybe get some more uniformity or coverage around those conference tournaments, or the way you even schedule the conference tournaments as like, this is the first week of the national tournament and it starts with these regional tournaments? That would be the only thing. Is there a way to salvage and pump those that makes it feel like an expansion?
I think the only problem with that idea, and it's the kind of thing where the conferences that have the problem are so small, you can force them to adapt.
Sure.
But I think the only problem with those things is there is that idea of uniformity across a week, is there is a group of conferences that play their conference tournament staggered at the same place, right? Like the Mountain West plays their tournament, I believe, in the exact same location that the WCC does.
Oh, yeah.
Just one plays one week and one plays the other. And I think there are a lot of those in Vegas. I think there are a few of those down in Florida, but otherwise.
And the West Coast Conference Tournament, that's Gonzaga, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever, I swear,
that format.
I swear we were ahead of the game on this at Sports Channel. Mocking. It was like, the worst 2 teams play, and that team advances to play the next worst team. And it's like, ultimately, Gonzaga has to buy to the final. We want to preserve, not only make sure we don't screw up them getting in the tournament, but like, they're on track for a number 1 seed. Let's play a nice championship game that gets some good ratings. No chance of an upset before that. So yes, that's where you would have to have some uniformity. If like everyone's going to have some sort of function. And to your point, we'd have to adjust. Right now, they're all set up so that ESPN could have one championship game on every night for 2 straight weeks up until the weekend where the big dogs play, right? You'd have to move that around, and I don't have all the solutions in front of me. I just do. I hate to dismiss the fact that theoretically everyone does have a chance to win the national tournament, and it starts with the conference tournaments. But
what if we did sort of a cut down of the conference tournaments to unify them in a way where we say, okay, there are 96 spots in the NCAA tournament.
That's where I want to go.
Here are the teams that we know are in no matter what they do in their conference tournament, and they are out of the tournament. Well, they're out of the conference tournament.
I'll say this. I don't like what the ACC is doing by adding the 3 schools and now not having everybody in the ACC tournament. Again, lop off the last 2 weeks of the regular season, as far as I'm concerned. Have a full Indiana State high school basketball. Your conference tournament is your ticket in. You still play that conference tournament the way that you've always done it.
Yep.
And Blind Lemon Jello here, it's another weekend. It's not that big of a deal. This 72-76 proposal. I think 96 is where you should go. And this is why I say that. You mentioned this. There used to be 16 teams in the tournament. There used to be only 1 per conference. And then there was 32, and it was like, oh, wow, we're allowed to have more than, actually, I think they went from 16 to 24 to 32 to 4. There was a lot of steps in between. And college basketball has expanded by such. There's 360 teams now. And by the way, we just saw UConn win a national championship with a transfer from Loyola, Maryland as their best shooter. Their leading scorer was a transfer from ECU.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really think there's that big of a difference between teams 30 and 230, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
And didn't NC State just got to prove it?
Exactly. Exactly.
There's a reason why the conference tournament, everyone should be eligible to, like, if you're playing your best ball in the last week of the season, darn it.
Or even not.
Or even lost 4 games. Breaking news.
What?
We have breaking news. JJ Redick is the new coach of the Lakers.
Wow.
It is official 4-year deal.
We'll get into that into the lightning round then, because we currently have nothing planned for the lightning round. I just have one thing or two.
I'm more concerned about what Chams and Woj are tweeting each other about that one. Like,
so my point is,
he's in LA now. If he doesn't relaunch the rap career, it's a shame.
My point is, if there's 360 teams and we've seen the talent pool the way that it has been distributed, a 96 is more commensurate. Like then. You look at the NHL, half the teams make the playoffs. NBA, half the teams make the playoffs.
Over half the teams in the NBA,
right? Yeah. So, like, to me, you're giving more teams a chance. You're making the tournament bigger. You're not making the tournament worse. People are like, oh, you're watering down. No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're making a product more interesting. That's what you're doing. And if you want to have different buys and different setups and how you want people to get there, fine. You want to say the top however many seeds don't play until that 64 round. Cool. I got no problem with that. Like you said, like if you're the Western Conference and you're like, yeah, I want Gonzaga, I want Gonzaga to be there. Okay, well, there's ways to do that. That you would also then reward the regular season as well. So for me, I don't see the downsides for all these people who are like actual like purists and all this other bullshit. Like you would have been back in the 70s and been like, oh yeah. Oh, we got to stay at 16.
That's right.
Like, did you just watch Maryland and NC?
Automatic bids only.
Did you just watch Maryland and NC State play in the 74 ACC? You don't think Maryland's one of the 3 best teams in the country?
Well, and NC State is a really good example, and even Oakland, who they ended up playing.
Yeah.
Like, you could make the argument right now with 300 and however many teams, maybe 64 is too small.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden, those games are really good, really compelling in round 1, and they used to not be. You used to be able to count on the 1 seed beating the 16 by 45, 50 every single year.
Yeah. What'll happen is we've already seen some Final Fours. In the past few years, we've seen more double-digit seeds make the Final Four. We've seen teams make run from the Dayton start to all the way to the Final Four. If it expands, it'll only take one Final Four with like a 7 seed, a 6 seed, a 12 seed, an 8 seed,
like we had 2 years ago,
for everyone to say this is the problem. But but I think you have to look at, like anything else, I think you got to look at it over the course of 10 years. And ultimately, if you find 1 seeds are still showing up in the Final Four at the rate they should, and again, not all 1 seeds are created equal, right? Like last year, if we had lost a Purdue or Connecticut in a round that would seem meaningless and extraneous to our field of 64 tournament, then you might start to be like, okay, but like, it's just not going to happen. And to your point, there's a way to build it so that the best teams probably won't have to play more than 6 games still for a while.
Next topic, please.
All right, I'm definitely playing golf this weekend. I will definitely have my Rowback shirt on. You can too. Use that promo code OG20. Save 20%. Get the best golf shirts, hoodies, shorts, women's clothing. All the good things are at Rowback, RHO back.com. That's OG20. Get 20% off your initial order. Hit it, Hayes.
Wait, what? Oh, boom, 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 roll back, roll back, roll back. What if the world is on my back? Get the road my back. Nah, I should have thought that one better. Sorry. All right, well, I ran out of steam real quick.
If Ludacris wants to sue me, I got Whitaker and Hamer. It's wh.lawyer. Check them out, wh.lawyer.
Look at you daring him.
Garner, Clayton, Raleigh, all of their locations. Yeah.
You don't want to mess with his business. You don't want to mess around with his business.
So check out. It's wh.lawyer. If only we can make the whole show out of a jingle. And our friend Hazen Lancaster is the man with the plan. Bugsbite.com, Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority. Get rid of those bugs in the house, outside the house. Maybe you got mice up in the attic. All these things have happened to me. Moisture under the house. You certainly do not want that. Get rid of that moisture at the Rialto as well. Some of those older buildings, you never know, man.
Whoa.
You want
Earlier this week, he was wishing termites on me. Now he's trying to flood my place.
Gotta be protected. So go to bugsbite.com. And finally, one more of Hayes' favorites. Happy and Ale, man. Let's take a break.
Oh,
let's take a break.
I'm getting good at this.
That was good.
Take a what?
Hockey.
Oh, I thought it said honky break.
Does not. Okay.
That's basically our regular program.
Get that Happy Plus Hail app. And sometimes I say happy and hail, and some of you don't understand. No, type in in the App Store. Happy Plus Hail. You'll find it. You get a free smoothie. And then if it's within a month of your birthday, you still get a free bowl, even if your birthday is past. Thai chicken peanut crunch. They have the poke bowl with the ahi tuna. So many different options. They still have the Burnsy bowl, which is a great steak. They also have the chimichurri steak. Can you tell that I've run through the menu just once or twice in my short time?
Yes.
With our corporate champions over at Happy and Hail. So go check them out.
Speaking of the Burnsy bowl
in North Hills.
Yes. Did you hear this discussion, Demetri?
Which one?
All right, so he hasn't.
Well, hold on. While we're in ad mode, we don't have Demetri on the screen.
Sorry.
As you could see on the board.
Wait,
there,
the sponsors requested that Demetri not be on the screen. Wow, that's harsh, dude.
No. Plus now we really have to get the important stuff.
Housekeeping.
Know what's coming up on Saturday, August 24th at the Rialto.
Oh, if only I were on the screen to tell people.
If only. And there he is.
Hello, everybody.
We back. Go ahead, Demetri. Take it away.
I feel like I should let Hayes take it away.
I've been talking it all week.
All right, everybody take it away.
I've actually been trashing you all week.
Hey.
I'll tell you why. But go ahead.
A little brainchild of Hayes Permar and I, the Sports Podcast Festival happening at the Rialto. I don't want to brag. We sold 2 tickets yesterday. So well on our way.
Okay, so here's where I got on you. We had a banger opening weekend.
Yeah.
And then you were like, almost sold out. And I was like, we're not almost sold out, buddy. So
Where did I say almost sold out?
Well, maybe limited. I just felt like you rushed to like overplay how well we had sold. And it was like, hey, we sold great. But like there are plenty of other shows that are going to sell out.
Sure.
That sometimes just sell 2 a day.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I'm not worried about where we are right now.
And so I also said on this show, my concert promoter, he's like, what the hell are you doing, man? What is this? How come I wasn't cut in? I'm like, sorry, I gotta deal with another guy. You're giving me too much credit by calling it our idea.
That's true.
You're a brainchild. Wait a minute.
I mean,
you're supposed to be humble back to me.
I said, what if we did this? You were like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm a collaborator. That's no one of the smartest things I did at the Rialto. I've got some good ideas, but I tried to say, hey, if you in the community have great ideas, you know what this place is, what it means to rally. It's a cool place. We got a cool marquee. Bring me your good ideas, and you did just that.
And
so,
do you remember where we began talking about this? It's very important what was playing on your Rialto screen when we had this discussion. Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay. That's okay. I was worried. I was like, was it something super meaningful? And I do remember it. I do remember
it's a
Muppet
documentary
Carol,
about the life of my late grandfather. It was Muppet Christmas Carol. So we've been talking about this for the better part of 6 months. I'm really excited to see it all come to fruition. I was in Nashville last week, had breakfast with Ryan Nanny from the Full Cast. They have some big cool stuff planned. I think we are going to. And by the way, the Full Cast folks wanted me to tell you, Hayes,
yes,
and Lauren, and I talked about this with Lauren on our show this week. They are very excited that you, Lauren, Holly, and Ryan Nanny are all together because they believe that is the nucleus of Sports Broadway Twitter.
We are Sports Broadway Twitter. We might have to rank third down band, on third down on defense.
Yeah.
When you're like the quick, you only got a second because it's like coming up, but there's a ranking of there's Phantom of the Opera. You get the dun 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 dun. Like somebody does that one, then somebody does the dun dun dun.
Would you
dun,
stop
dun,
pounding the table?
sorry. Dun 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 dun. The Les Mis. I mean, no, we've been through all these. We've had some good times on Twitter. And randomly, when I used to produce Bomani Jones' SB Nation show, that was when the shutdown Full Cast was starting as something other than just a blog.
I believe is what it was called. Yeah.
And it always felt like, man, we got to do something. Those guys are creative. Like we got to do something to keep up with them. Fortunately, we had Bomani as the driving engine of our thing. So usually we were okay. We just had to cut his stuff up good. But I can't wait to see those guys in person and tell some of those old stories.
I asked Ryan what is the appeal? What is the Sports Broadway crossover? And he says that he believes it is that Broadway is the best place after sports to just remember some guys.
I disagree with. I truly think it's, and this is what they're so good about is, like I've been trying to describe it to people in my world of like, these guys are going to be awesome. You're going to love them. And again, when my guy's like, how are you guys selling this many tickets? I'm like, well, this, you got the local guys that are doing great.
Yeah.
And the Nash, it's a great lineup. Felder from the podcast down in Charlotte, Hand in the Dirt, they're coming. But those, to me, sports and theater have way more in common, right?
Yeah.
Like if you picture a baseball manager going out to argue with an umpire, this person, when they are in a restaurant and their order gets wrong, they do not stand up and get in the face of the waiter and be like, hey, you screwed me here. You screwed me. Like, they know they are playing a role. Now, a lot of it is improv in sports, but there is a flow and a movement to how we, and college football is one of those places, like running down the all this pageantry things. That's theater, man. What's one of the big discussions we're hearing of the offseason? Losing the chain gang.
Yeah.
I've heard this 15 years ago. The guys at Automated Insights over in Durham, they created the yellow line, right? They told us 10 or 15 years ago on some show, I was either hosting or producing for one of you guys or filling in or somebody around here. And I heard the guy say, man, we could get rid of the chain gang tomorrow.
Yeah.
We have the technology. Look what we're doing over golf.
Yeah.
We can tell you that a putt is 60 feet, 6 and 1/19 inches. And they're like, but every time we bring it up, people are like, nah. The theater of dudes running out there, bungling it.
Don't even get me started on not automating the strike zone in baseball. Don't even get me started.
Well, that's the one, right? Like, that's big time.
You take that up there, that's theater. I mean, what did Leslie Nielsen totally play off of? Like, the umpire is an actor. He is playing a role in a show with all that stuff. So, sorry, not to go off on a larger point, but I do think there is some actual crossover appeal to people who just love the pageantry and one of the best things in Broadway is seeing. I don't want to say something go wrong.
You realize housekeeping is supposed to be like.
No, sorry. It's, but
I have no idea how we get
seeing someone have to improvise in the moment, which is also one of the best things in sports. I'm like, hey, you've got your first 15 plays scripted.
Right.
We want to see what you do on the last play of the game with 1 second when your receiver slipped, and now you're doing it. Whatever. I think there's a lot of crossover.
Moral of the story: go to therialto.com.
Yeah.
Get your tickets. I'm going to see David Cook on July 19th. Comedy, movies, concerts, and great beer.
You're not getting those Broadway takes with Obvious, okay? The Nintendo and Star Wars time was taken out, and we just subbed in a little Broadway. That's all. But jokes aside, I did say this. It is selling fantastically. It is on pace to be a sellout. I will not lie to you and say it will be sold out tomorrow. You will be able to get tickets tomorrow.
I will lie to you.
If you wait until August 24th, you might get locked out. I am not lying to you. So get your tickets. Absolutely. It's going to be a good time.
All right. We're going to do some radio. We're going to do a little lightning round. Then we're going to do some radio nonsense with Demetri, because that's what we do in the summer when there's absolutely nothing going on, as if you couldn't tell already. But first,
is it lightning round?
Not yet.
The button queued. I'm so ready.
We're so close. We're really close. All right. DraftKings is the official gambling partner of the OG. Use that promo code OG24. But when you bet $5, you get $150 instantly in bonus bets. I hesitate to give my play of the day now because the WNBA let me down yesterday. But a wise man once told me, you just have to get back on the horse. So I will. I'm going to take the New York Liberty tonight in the first quarter, -4.5. They are hosting the Sparks. The Liberty have one of the best offenses in the WNBA. I feel confident in my pick today. Liberty in the first quarter. We almost have a new hockey champion. Well, we're this close to crowning one. With the action heating up on the ice, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and much more, don't miss out as the hockey playoffs wind down. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers that bet $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code OG24. That's OG24, and you get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. See terms and responsible gaming resources at dkng.co/MMA.
Are you ready?
Before we lightning round it, Joe, are you playing any of the Euro championships?
I do. I have Spain today against Italia. Don't tell my people, though. That's what it was yesterday.
Wow.
We had a tie between Scotland and Switzerland yesterday.
Sure.
That's what happened yesterday.
I never know why the UK didn't decide to just all play together. Wouldn't they be a lot better?
They probably should.
They would be a lot better, but yeah, I don't think I don't think the English would be too welcoming to the Welsh.
Is there any history there with those groups not getting? I mean, they should all just play together, right? You know, like
Not while I have the beer in my mouth.
State and UNC should just form one football team. I've always said that. Just one football team and one basketball team. UNC takes the basketball team, NC State takes the football team. Why can't they get on board with this?
They would be so much better off. All right, let's see if we can do this.
Lightning round.
I thought I was playing the lightning.
No,
round
you
music.
now
What
you
is
do the
this?
voice.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, I won't play the whole thing. Okay.
So hit the voice. I think it's large robot.
Lightning round.
No, different.
Lightning round.
Oh,
It's
hell yeah.
the lightning. Baby. Just unbutton that button on that Columbia fishing shirt. One more, please. It's so like, what? What's our number one song?
You can't make the whole bit out of the voice.
Obvious does this a lot. Okay, let's start live.
No, what's up? What's
So
number
let's
one?
start with number one. JJ Redick hired as the Los Angeles Lakers coach. This feels like it was a setup, man. This feels like it was the gig was up, right? Like this was going to happen from the jump.
I mean, if they didn't hire Dan Hurley, it tells you they probably weren't offering enough to get someone more competitive.
do you
than
think they
JJ
really
Redick,
were
right?
ever going to hire Dan
No,
Hurley, or
my-
was that a plot
My belief
cooked
is
up
they
by
were.
Dan Hurley's agent and Adrian Wojnarowski?
I think it's pretty close to that. I think it's pretty close to that. I think they made him a legit offer that was not that they felt was legit. That there was no way he was going to take less than Monty Williams got.
I should add it was cooked up by LeBron James too, because I think all along he wanted Redick, but didn't want the blowback of, oh, you're hiring this guy
You're a
because
guy.
you've been on the podcast and you like each other.
Did he hire him because they started a podcast together, or did they started a podcast together because he was going to hire him? Like, which came
There's
first there?
That's some 3D chess right there.
And then the other
40.
one is, I know, like, there's nothing worse than media navel gazing. So I hate to say that, like, the most interesting thing here is the media angle, but like, Woj has become beyond just like media, right? Like,
Yeah,
I feel
sure.
like it gets referenced in other walks of life, and it just becomes, you don't have to be some hardcore NBA person, or you're not lavishing praise on him. It's a little bit of like a tongue in cheek, like, oh, why didn't Woj break this world news or whatever it is, right? And then, so the Woj versus Shams thing is something that's discussed, talked about, and this is like a huge story. The LA Lakers job is going to be a huge story. JJ Redick is a big name, a former Duke player, whatever. Obviously, Danny Hurley, huge name. Like, it involves all the major elements where it does kind of make it was it who was playing games here? Was Woj like part of a scheme where he knew that he was reporting something that was bad? Was he snowed in the Hurley camp? Or was it legitimate that Hurley and the Lakers were talking and that's all he reported? But I don't know. It feels like it has that added element of, hey, who's lying, who knew what when, and who was telling us the truth the whole time or not? I don't know.
How about this? For the third year in a row, the NBA's top broadcast partner will roll out a different NBA Finals broadcast team next season.
Because JJ won't
because
be there.
JJ's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by any of this. Listen, LeBron, as long as he's on a team, is going to be the coach of the team. And he's going to be he's the quasi GM of the team as well.
To that point, why don't we have player coach anymore?
I mean,
It worked in the 70s, right?
well, worked with Bill Russell quite famously, and Pete Rose maybe he was gambling the whole time.
Sure.
We can bring that
but he
back
was
too.
he was locked in.
Yeah, but he had a vested interest in winning those games.
We can bring that back too. I think people would let LeBron gamble if it was I'm kidding there, but like do you think that could ever work in the NBA?
Do you think the leagues would let it happen again, given how much money is on the line with these guys? I think that's what it is.
I think if there ever was one they were going to do, you want to talk about legacy. Not that we give Bill Russell credit for it, but you want to talk about your legacy. One way to differentiate yourself would be to be a player coach.
Yeah. I mean, he should have at least brought it up. And then how many years out of the league is JJ Redick?
2?
Like,
it's not a lot.
It's almost player coach on both ends. Like a very, very, very old player who's still playing. We know he's kind of diminished, still a worthy player, but could retire tomorrow and become a coach, or a coach who has never coached before and is mostly known by most of us as a player and is only a couple years removed. Like they're almost crossing each other, going in and out as player coach. I don't know. I feel like it could have worked.
All right, let's hit lightning round item number 2. Do the voice.
No, but I have to give a shout out to Jerry Pemberton.
There you go.
Pemberton, sorry, asking, are player coaches underrated, rightly rated? I think you meant overrated, underrated, or rightly rated.
Yes.
But we respect the shout out there, Jerry Pemberton.
Or should I say I'm number 3 because you guys always get off number, and that would be keeping with the brand of the show. I'm number 2.
Bill Belichick has a new girlfriend.
Yeah, he does.
Bill Belichick's 72 years old.
We're doing this.
Bill Belichick is crazy crusty. His new girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, is 24.
That's
And
a lot.
Page 6 has pictures of him canoodling on a boat in Nantucket. I once knew a man from Nantucket. 72-24. Is that too much?
Literally 3 times her age.
Is that too much?
So I've always, maybe we shouldn't do this on a Thursday. After I've been drinking. But like, okay, well, I know
What controversial take could you possibly have?
what age is appropriate for people to date. I think we don't, we can tell on ourselves. But no,
he already traded in his first wife for a trophy wife, and now he's traded in the trophy wife for a 24-year-old.
I'll get to the important
Does
part
your
here.
shit even still work at 72?
I'll get to the important part.
Works enough.
But much like political candidates, I'm worried that they'll only clip the part before I say the whole thing here. I was like, I've often said when people are like, well, that's too big an age difference. If it's 10 or 12 or 15 years, like I always just like to ask the question, like, okay, well, what if 10 years is too much? Is 9 years okay? And they're like, oh yeah, that's it. Like, what is the one day where it goes from like that's appropriate to inappropriate, right? Like that's the thing that I've never been able to hold somebody to an answer to. However, that being said, I feel like we could say 72-24 is too much.
It's too much.
I can't tell you the exact line. And I don't think it's fit. There's context to these things, like how people meet. 60-year-olds can meet 40-year-olds in a perfect position in like 20 years. If you say it off the top of your head, that sounds like too much.
Yeah.
But then you can meet 2 people and you're like, oh, that's how you guys found each other? And that's it? That's totally fine. So I've always been kind of open-minded. It's tough for me to open my mind to 72-24.
What you got,
right?
Demetri? The heart wants what the heart wants, or are we okay with it?
Well, I think if think about at 24, there are so many touchstones for us in our 40s that she has not experienced.
Right.
What must it be like? Like she was never alive at the same time Kurt Cobain was.
She's younger than the baby on the cover of
Yes.
Never Mind.
Yeah.
I mean, has she been alive for all his Super Bowls? She has, I guess.
She has.
Barely. Because
But she doesn't have it. This is what I was thinking about with September 11th. She doesn't have a firm memory of that
She doesn't
first
remember
one.
September 11th.
No.
She thinks of September 11th like I think of Pearl Harbor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I understand it was big and grave and the seriousness of it, but I don't
Or maybe the
remember
Vietnam War
I don't
would be
remember.
closer.
No, I like Pearl Harbor. It's an
Have
attack on U.S. soil. I need that. It's got to be an attack on U.S. soil.
Have we all seen the video?
Have
we all seen the video of him leaving her apartment from the ring cam?
No,
I've not seen it. I've heard it
my
talked
man
about.
Ethan Hyman sent me the clip of the Page 6 article, and he knew this would be something we would talk about. So here's my question, because we are going to get into some dumb radio sports topics in a little bit. Would this be something we would talk about actually on proper radio?
1,000%.
It would be?
Yeah.
Okay.
We would.
Wait, by proper radio, do you only mean sports? Because obviously in the rock radio days, we would do weeks of this as a story.
Yeah, like this would be the zany morning crew. Yeah.
All right, someone who made a good living.
Would one of I love you. Like sports guys love to not just like, hey,
Get back in the box.
all right, I mean, if we're gonna go there, like who's it grosser for?
Like, it's got to be.
I mean,
wait, how is it gross for him?
I mean,
you got to think like
there's just an element.
You mean like does he feel bad about it?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he has any shame.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, obviously not.
I mean, he and Nick Saban are best friends. They're all about victory, and this is another victory.
I don't know. Miss Terry would definitely not approve.
That's my favorite part is thinking about her bringing down there like couples vacation.
Here's the other part. Here's the other part.
Miss Terry being like, you need to wear a one piece
If I'm Bill Belichick,
with a skirt.
do I truly believe that this woman loves me and my company and presence and thinks I'm an attractive person that she wants to be with? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But if that's me in that situation, I'm always going to be, well, this person thinks I'm rich and famous. And that's the only reason they're with me, right?
Whether it's Nick Saban or Tom Brady, he has definitely told someone that she has an old soul.
That's how you get an old soul. Her soul's like 68 at least.
All right, let's get to lightning round item number 3. You do the voice.
Lightning round, item number 3. No jokes.
All right. One thing I really love about, let's call it the podcast era, I love it when former players get into the space and give us a little bit of insight.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the NBA podcasts. Talk like I'm big into like, I don't love Gilbert Arenas, obviously, but I love like this player from 2002 is so much better than you think he was. And you really should like give him a little bit more respect. I even like JJ Redick being like, we ran X out elevator zip in the 2011 play. Like I love all of that minutia.
JJ's podcast is worse since he stopped playing.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I love all of that minutia. I love all of the Theo Pinson. Like, oh man, I hate State. I respect Duke, and you know when they go back. This is all my way of setting up that Holton Ahlers has been doing a lot of media stuff. Holton Ahlers, former ECU quarterback, and obviously my son is at ECU. And I pay a little bit more attention to ECU than I used to, right? Mm-hmm. For sure. And I really like
you used to be a State guy and you used to thumb your nose at ECU and consider them lesser than you and not worthy and inferior.
No,
and
this
is a teacher's college.
No. But this is the one part which I never knew ECTC. So my mentor, Colton Tudor, was an ECU guy. So he always called it ECTC. I never knew why. I thought it was because it was like easy, like easy. Yeah. No. It was East Carolina Teaching College. I did not know that. So when I got here, I missed the 89 game, obviously, at Carter Finley, where they stormed the field and the series gets canceled and all this other stuff. I have no animosity towards ECU even before my son got there, because I've always looked at ECU and I go, you're just like State. You're just like State. You have the same complex. Like, yeah. Why the two of you don't get along? I don't get that part of it, right? Because I miss that in New Jersey. I get the Carolina part. I don't get the ECU part, but I do love it when former players and coaches, you know, Steve Logan, obviously with our former employer forever. I enjoy all of these things. So Holton Ahlers had something. This requires me hitting present. This requires me share screen. Let's go to Holton Ahlers. He's calling it the worst ECU football schedule of all time.
He's not.
And I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's see if the audio works. Nope. Let's go.
Weakest schedule in ECU football history. We have 0 Power 5.
Is it going through my TV or is it going through the?
I'm not hearing it through my headphones.
For the first time.
Also am not hearing it through my
headphones. So you vamp, and I will get there.
Is Holton Ahlers still on an NFL team? Because that was pretty cool. No, I have great respect for him. Like his dad's the PA guy.
Yeah.
And he stayed at ECU and definitely felt like in the transfer portal, he could have done something else.
Well,
I'm not saying he could have gone to Alabama, but he could have gone to like a couple other places that made him, made him some more money.
He couldn't have gone to Alabama, but you know who he could have played for? He could have played for Gus Malzahn.
I'm in over 40 years.
You hear it now?
We do play App State. We do play Liberty, but they're not Power 5. How do we feel about that? I wouldn't like it, but we won 2 games last year, so I like it. I'm not going to say I like it. Take that back. I don't like it. But I think if there's ever a time in ECU football history that we don't play a Power 5 school, this year's a pretty good one. This coming up year's a pretty good one. 12-team playoff coming to it. This schedule is the worst schedule in ECU football history, the weakest schedule in ECU football history. We have 0 Power 5 opponents for the first time in over 40 years.
Again, so I like this. I like that when guys who have had skin in the game and understand that community. Obviously, he's from Greenville, played there, had a tremendous career for them. I like this. I like this insight. Is he right though? Is this the worst schedule in ECU history? Because listen, I love that they play App State.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that they're in the conference now with Charlotte so that they get to actually play Charlotte on the regular. One of their non-conference games is against Old Dominion. The irate Giglio conference would definitely include Old Dominion.
So looking at this schedule, he said they won 2 games last year.
Well, I think he was slightly confused.
Yeah. 1, 2. There are only 3 games on this schedule that I look at and go, there's just no way.
Right.
Doesn't mean I think they'll win the other 9. It's just there are only 3 that I immediately count out for them.
So, okay, here's what he's alluding to. And is it the worst schedule? Who knows? But how many years out of the past 15 have they played either State or Carolina?
Yeah. Out of 15, probably 12.
12? Yeah, even more?
Yeah. And if those 3 they haven't, it was either Virginia Tech or West Virginia.
And they had Michigan last year.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
But that didn't feel as fun because, when they were playing Carolina and State,
they could put
90% of those, or at least 75%, it felt like they could or should win or did, right?
Yeah.
There's only 1 or 2 of the, Dorn had it rolling years and ECU was rebuilding that it was like they got no chance.
Was the Michigan game, was the ECU game the Jim Harbaugh Memorial?
Yes.
Where
where he acted like the guy was dead. Yes.
And then it's been South Carolina, Virginia Tech, West Virginia, regional games.
They did only go 2-10 last year.
Wow. So he's not crazy in that, and I can't speak for ECU fan, right? I wouldn't claim to. I don't want to. I haven't lost enough brain cells yet to get quite on that level. Maybe if I continue. Come on. Come on, I'll take the shot.
Who are you talking to?
No, I hope when James graduates from ECU, I hope he gets to go to a good college after that.
Hey man, that 3.4 his first semester is the equivalent of a 4.0 at Harvard.
I'm kidding. And also, things have changed. Much like, UNC and NC State when we were growing up.
Yeah,
they weren't easy schools, but if you did well enough in high school, you lived in North Carolina, you could go to those. So there was a little more of the how come you didn't get into UNC and NC State and had to go to one of these other ones? Now there's some legit, very smart people that don't get into UNC and NC State and go to other schools. So I'm having some fun at my ECU fans' expense. But I won't claim to speak for that fan base. But there does seem to be an element of everyone will say they want to go 10-2. But man, give us 3 great tailgates. And if we win 2 of them, let us play State or UNC at home. Let us play Virginia Tech, South Carolina. And if we think we're good enough to make it worth taking our whole family, down to EC. If your team's terrible and you're playing South Carolina, you're like, I don't know if we're doing this. If you're like, you know what? We're at least good enough to hang with South Carolina. You're giving a great tailgate day, great time. I do understand his vibe as somebody who, more than just a player, as we talked about,
right?
He's got a lot of history, and he just knows there's not going to be a feeling in the air of a fall crisp afternoon with fill in the blank. Even Liberty doesn't feel the same as Virginia Tech or UNC or NC State. I think that's all he said.
App State is the casual fan go-to game,
and it's a Saturday game. A lot of times they have struggles with Saturdays. Who has a less appealing schedule? And I think State's is very unappealing. Carolina's is even more unappealing than State's. Carolina out of the league plays Minnesota, Charlotte, NC Central, and James Madison. So at home, you get your home season ticket package for Carolina this year is Charlotte, Central, James Madison, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Wake, and State. At least you get Wake and State at the end of the year. But at that point, we all know that Carolina fans have already tuned out for
what is
basketball. And we also know that Mac Brown's team had already checked out. They didn't even bother to show up for the State game last year either. So,
what is State's non-conference like?
State, well, they do play Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's basically the only redeeming game.
In Charlotte,
yeah,
right?
State's home schedule is lackluster to say the least. Western Carolina, Louisiana Tech, Northern Illinois, and then in the league, it's Wake, Syracuse, Stanford,
Throw out the
and
records.
Duke.
Is UNC
So in-state college football schedules this year, App's got the most interesting one because at least they play Clemson and they play ECU.
Maybe we should make it a law that UNC and NC State
Maybe.
need to play. ECU need to play each other. Can we do that? Are we calling UNC Minnesota the Norwood Teague Bowl? Are we doing that?
Nice.
No?
Nice.
I like my boy Norwood. He got a shout out on your podcast. Do you remember who it was from?
Yeah.
I won't put you on the spot.
Was it Josh Stein?
No.
No.
It may have been. It was Lavelle Moten.
Lavelle, that's right.
Because
He
Moten
got
was
hired
doing his
to the
Mike
thing.
Tomlin, young stars coaching
Yeah.
thing. And he said, I remember when Norwood Teague did this. And it wasn't specifically for black coaches. I think it was just young coaches.
You might pay more attention to the podcast than I do.
No, I don't listen.
Could be problematic.
I don't listen to the podcast. That's always my.
No, I don't listen to the
I
show.
don't listen to the podcast,
no.
but I do remember this one fine detail. I randomly somebody made me listen to this one. But no, I thought that was cool. I was like, I think Norwood's actually a good dude. He had a tough night one night.
All right, so we made the lightning round into our Hey Joe. It's brought to you by Crank Arm Brewing. Go check them out on 319 West Davie Street. They have beer-flavored beer.
Oh,
Coast Lightly. That's an American light lager that I enjoy. And then you can get a little funky. The Pedal Puncher, a Hawaiian punch seltzer, coming soon to the Rialto near you. Crank Arm Brewing. It's crankarmbrewing.com. Check them out over at 319 West Davie Street. All right, we do not have any production for this. We don't have anything for this. We just have a lot of years in radio to say this is what people would normally have to do if the people at our former employer weren't so cheap and would actually pay Hayes to fill in for Adam Gold.
What if I have a couple more lightning round things?
I mean,
can I quickly? One we don't have to talk about. Just give me really quick.
Okay.
Akshay Matia is in the lead at his tournament.
I know and I had him on the first round leader, but he got chopped by 4. Assuming
what do you
someone
mean chopped by?
You remember how first round leader bets work?
So he's already in the clubhouse. He's finished.
Yeah.
And somebody. Okay. Well, I just like to mention the local guys.
Yes.
And then 2, where is
chopped by 5?
You promised me if I came on today I could talk about Kendrick Lamar. Where is that going? Do I need to do it now in the lightning round?
Yeah. Do a lightning round. We got bamboozled there. Hey, don't forget, sometimes you hear things in your ears, and that's not always what's going out to the world.
Oh no!
Is there sound going out to the world right now? Can someone comment?
I think we're good.
Tell us we're back.
We're back in action. Back in action.
I don't want to dwell on the Kendrick Lamar concert last night too much. Demetri, did you take in any of this?
It was the ultimate example of I think I'm too old for Twitter, because my only reason for not taking it, because I love Kendrick, was it feels like effort.
So, okay, I'm usually not up on like current rap and current country, the good stuff, not the crap stuff, because so much of the radio stuff in both those genres is terrible.
Yeah.
And there's great stuff in both those genres that you just got to find. Like, I find it too taxing to listen to it in real time and currently. So I'm always catching up with Sturgill Simpson a few years later. Kendrick Lamar was the same thing. Like, I have to differentiate between, the one-hit wonders or the Chingies or what. I don't want to say somebody who's actually good, and But so after a while, I had enough people talk about Kendrick Lamar where I was like, okay, I should go listen to all of his albums.
Yeah,
and I did, and he is amazing, right? And so I'm rarely up on the latest rap stuff. I went in on this rap beef, like rap with the cause. We talk about exhibition games. I can't watch friendlies. As cool as it is that Manchester City's coming, I need some level of stakes. Even if it's just regular season, I can't watch these friendlies. Well, rap battles are like stakes, right? Like, these guys actually are caring. This means even more. So I have been into these, which means I've learned the songs that are currently out, which is not the norm for me. Normally, the songs you're doing in concert, I'll learn about 6 years from now. Well, when I caught wind it was going down, I had to tune in. So the main point I wanted to make, to at least appeal to a wider audience here who might not care about Kendrick Lamar, is Twitter has not been replaced. It is still, no one has come up with the place where when something is happening in real time that a large group cares about, there is it's not only feedback and people giving you, some people are giving you play by play, and you might need that because you're watching one thing and you're not even realizing, oh, that's DeMar DeRozan on the like you saw Russell Westbrook, but now Twitter's telling you DeMar DeRozan's up there. That's who this guy is. That's who this guy is. Then there's the jokes. Great jokes, incredible jokes that come from a place of like, you need to be on the inside to know this. Jokes that come. Twitter is as much as I don't. I'm not here to sing praises to Elon Musk or what he's turned it into, but it has not been replaced. People, I've heard Ovius talk about this and how he uses Threads versus Twitter and stuff like that, and it was just incredible how great it was to be like, we're all doing this. It felt like Sharknado. That's the other thing it felt like, because we're used to it at the Super Bowl, but it was those magical moments where like, holy crap, we're all watching Sharknado together. And then you started watching Sharknado because you saw the jokes online. Like, I knew this concert was going on, but you saw Twitter and people were like, oh man. And you're like, well, I got to get in there. And then you're like, oh, it's just an incredible night. It capping with, I'll just say this, I'm not going to go too deep. Kendrick Lamar did the same diss track 5 times in a row. Just kept, and like when you did it the second time, you're like, that was kind of funny. He did it twice. And after the third, you're like, oh, this is going to be a thing. The fourth one was when all of a sudden Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, apparently gang members from multiple gangs, all came running up on stage, and he's rapping, and they're all saying the words to it, and the words are, we hate Drake and he's a pedophile, and they're all rapping along and slapping hands as if it was choreographed, and it was amazing to watch in real time. It was just unbelievable. And here's the other tie-in locally. Do you remember the Lavelle Moten doing the siren?
Sure.
And how he did it so well, but then he looked like he was like wearing himself out at the end, and that became a meme of things. That came back. He's like Kendrick Lamar because he was just doing the same song over and over. Sarman Moten made it into the meme pile. Pardon the audience who didn't give a crap about it. I at least tried to appeal to like people who understand like the Twitter live thing. But
you did well.
It was an amazing experience last night. And if you do like rap, go back and watch that concert. There was plenty of other cool moments. Great old artists. Dr. Dre came up, did some cameos. The Black Hippie group was up there. Everybody was up there. They were jamming. It was... I deserved. I went too long. Can I make one more plea? One more plea.
Let's get out of here.
One more plea from the white delegation.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Hayes Permar is the right name to be speaking on behalf of the whites.
Juneteenth is obviously a black celebration.
Sure.
From what I hear, and I try to listen to the voices that matter, they want it to be a wider thing, but it is a Juneteenth celebration. From the white delegation, my request is some concert like this every year. I'll watch every time. It could be your jazz greats. Blacks, because we wouldn't let them in so many other places, did so much in music because it was like, you can't stop us. You cannot stop us. You can only steal from us and then allow us in. Give me a concert every Juneteenth on this level. I will tune in. I will pay Jeff Bezos money to watch a great Juneteenth concert every time. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that. Sorry I went too long.
Radio nonsense, radio shenanigans. Let's dip into Demetri Ravanos' bag of radio bits. What you got for us?
I was thinking about this as training camps get ready to get underway. Mini camps begin to break up. Are you aware that the quarterback for our beloved Carolina Panthers is considered abnormally short?
I am. Yes, your sweet little prince.
That's right. My sweet tiny prince, Bryce Young, stands at 5'10" tall. So here's what I've decided to do today, gentlemen.
That's 5'8" most. 5'8". I've stood next to
I'm going by the official listing. At 5'10", I'm going to give you some structures, some other things that are important to where Bryce is now, where Bryce has been, where Bryce could be, and you're going to tell me how many Bryce Young's tall each of these things are.
Okay.
All right. You boys are going to work together on this one. Okay.
All right.
A little tag team work. All right, let's start with where Bryce Young plays his football. Bank of America Stadium. Joe Giglio. At 5'10" from the field level to the very top of the scoreboard, How many Bryce Youngs tall is Bank of America Stadium?
What do we think? It's about 400 feet, maybe 4-story. No,
I think you're going a little too high.
too high.
But
Okay.
Is it? Are we going against each other? Or can we work together?
You're not going against each other,
but I'm supposed to let
don't
him
work
answer?
together. Let him
Okay,
answer.
okay.
Yep.
Oh, can I use a calculator?
What? I'm already. Anytime
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what the exact size of Bank of America Stadium is. So yeah, I mean, you got to put your guess in.
Anytime someone picks up their phone during some sort of trivia, I'm skeptical.
I was just
I'm
using the
only using the calculator. I'm only using the calculator. Like you don't
calculator.
have an
How
app
high?
that would just.
Can we get a ballpark of how big we think Bank of America Stadium
No,
is?
I need you to
That's
throw a
part of
guess.
the, that's the whole question.
Let's go 20. No, 20 would only be 120 feet. Let's go 40 Bryce Youngs. 40.
40 Bryce Youngs is not the correct answer. Hayes, is the correct answer over or under 40 Bryce
It's
Youngs?
under 40 Bryce Youngs.
It is under 40 Bryce Youngs.
it's way too high.
36.17 Bryce Youngs,
so you-
211
close.
You were not far off.
Really close.
You were not far off.
All right, Hayes Permar. Now that American Airlines has absorbed US Air, Charlotte is an American Airlines hub.
Okay.
How many Bryce Youngs long is the Boeing Dreamliner 787-9, the largest plane in American Airlines fleet?
All right. So the last one was 36. Got to be way more than that. I'm just going to go 100 Bryce Youngs long or 130 RL Bynums.
I'm sorry, we measure
No,
RL
no,
Bynum
just-
in
okay, sorry.
YMCA hostels.
Wow, RL, got to catch strays. Love you, buddy. No, I'll go 100 Bryce Youngs long.
100 Bryce Youngs long is not the correct answer. Joe Giglio is the American Air
It's less.
Boeing Dreamliner. Yes,
Fewer.
7879. It is fewer Bryce Youngs. Actually, fewer Bryce Youngs even than Bank of America Stadium is. 35.31 Bryce Youngs.
I was thinking you had to have. I mean, Boeing jets. You want to give them a wide berth these days.
Sure.
Okay? You want to give them a little extra room to land. That's all I was trying to do there.
All right, Joe Giglio. Now that Bryce Young is a North Carolinian, let's talk about what is right around the corner from us, the North Carolina state capital. How many Bryce Youngs tall is the state capital? We're going top of the dome here.
Yeah, it's got to be like 4 stories, maybe 60 feet. How many Bryce Youngs is 10?
10 Bryce Youngs is not the correct answer. Hayes Permar, over or under 10 Bryce Youngs?
He was putting it about where I was, so I think he set a pretty good line out there.
It's probably a little bit over.
Now he's playing mind games with me. Now he's telling me what the bet. 10 Bryce Youngs at just about 6 feet each. I'll go. It's more Bryce Youngs than 10.
It is more Bryce Youngs. Giglio, you did not give the state capital enough credit.
No.
97.5
Oh,
feet
wow.
high.
I was
I
underestimating.
walk
as well.
out. I look at it every day. I never would have come up with that.
16.71 Bryce Youngs tall. Wow. All right, Hayes. Let's go to Bryce Young, the child, his hometown, Santa Ana, California. It's elevation above sea level. How many Bryce Youngs?
Now
Man.
we're measuring his childhood hometown, but in adult Bryce Youngs.
In adult
We're not
Bryce Young.
measuring
That's
a child
correct.
Bryce Youngs.
That's correct.
Because then that would be all the way down to like 5'9".
That's-
yeah, okay.
His
So,
parents still live there. You have to assume adult Bryce Young has been back.
and what town is it again?
Santa Ana, California.
I mean, I have no clue if Santa
winds.
Ana is that. Yes,
Yeah.
the winds.
That's all I got.
That's all you know. But I don't know if it's at the coast or on the
Swans,
cliffs,
those
the
guys.
mountains.
they really should measure the wind speed in Bryce Youngs per hour. Right?
Let's go. Let's go. 20 Bryce Youngs.
20 Bryce
No,
Youngs,
I-
over or under?
I did use the calculator. I'm going 166.
Bryce Youngs?
Yes.
How big? How high above sea level? Do
Isn't
you
it
think?
1,000 feet above?
It is not.
Oh.
Hayes, you were damn close. 19.71 Bryce Young.
I said 20, and we're not giving me that. We're not within half a Bryce Young. We don't get a Bryce Young torso.
I would hit a bell for you, but
No.
I'm not near the button.
115 feet above sea level.
The air horn up top, maybe. Top right.
Our radio people tell
No.
No, just tell it.
Keep going. Keep going.
All right, last one. We all know that the NFL wants to expand internationally at some point.
Big Ben.
So when Bryce Young is eventually the quarterback of the Dubai Panthers, he will be in the same town as the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Joe Giglio.
Oh my God.
How many Bryce Youngs tall is the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa?
I'll go back to 166.
166 Bryce Youngs is not correct. Hayes Permar, over or under?
I think it's more Bryce Youngs.
More Bryce Youngs, just like Bill Belichick. The correct amount of Bryce Youngs, nearly 3 times as many as what Joe Giglio guessed. 465.69 Bryce Youngs tall.
All right. I think that's going to do it for today. So,
Okay.
unless you can tell your Dave Matthews story quickly.
Yeah, I can tell
All
my
right,
Dave
let's do
Matthews
it.
story
Because
quickly.
last time we were together, it was last Thursday. I was on my way over to Walnut Creek to see Dave Matthews,
Mhm.
and you, in your former life, you were like, you were
did I hit a
you were casting aspersions to Dave
Yes.
Matthews, and you outright do not like Dave Matthews because you had a story when you were radio.
Were you on the boat in Chicago that got poop dumped
It
on you?
does have to do with the boat.
You were on the boat?
I was not on the
Oh,
boat,
man.
but so what you got to know, Joe, is while Dave Matthews is one of my least favorite bands, this is one of my wife's most favorite bands. So
okay.
I've seen Dave
House
quite a
divided.
bit. And we have
Dave Matthews,
we
Kendrick
have-
Lamar.
The dancing guy.
Yeah.
was like half of him.
So my old radio partner, Salt, we were on air at 96 Rock. Nobody told us that it was the Dave Matthews Band presented by 96 Rock. We didn't even play the Dave Matthews Band on
Okay.
96 Rock. But we were the only station in town that might at
Right.
some point, right? So Salt asks me on air, hey, D, I know your wife likes Dave Matthews. Is she taking you along to the show tonight? And I jokingly said, why? So they can dump crap on me too? We did not know, nor did I even think such a thing was possible, that Dave Matthews and his road manager were listening to the radio station as they drove into town. We got a call maybe 10 minutes later because I assume he called to find the hotline number. And the road manager called. It was just, who the hell do you think you are? You know, this not funny. We paid those people, blah, blah, blah. And I had nothing to say. Salt and
What
I
would you
recorded
say?
very good. Very good. Salt and I recorded the call because we record every call that comes
Sure.
into the studio, and we debated for weeks.
to play it.
Should we play
You
this
shut
thing?
up.
And eventually, our station lawyer told us, you can play it, but you will not be welcome back tomorrow if you
Oh.
don't play it.
The only in-call radios that I fielded, Bomani was going off on Josh Hamilton
Oh,
at the time when Josh Hamilton, I was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
producer. Josh Hamilton was going through drug addiction.
Yeah.
And Bomani was trying to make the point that when certain people have drug addictions, we're like, we need to treat them as a
Mhm.
person. And when certain other people, like Lawrence Taylor, has drug addictions, they're a crackhead. And he's like, so Josh Hamilton, but if we're going by the same standard of Lawrence Taylor, he's a crackhead. Like, my man is a crackhead. And Josh Hamilton's dad called. And he wasn't even necessarily mad, if I remember. He wanted to speak for, he didn't want to come and say, you're an idiot, but, like, he understood that his kid was going through some stuff. He did want to voice the other side, but we put him on the air and they talked. And I think Bomani explained his point of like, I'm not, like, I didn't call these other people crackheads either,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they did. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to it and be like, hey, this is a disease and we all need to be with them, when I've listened to so many of these same people say crackhead and laugh because somebody got arrested for drugs. That's not what I'm going to do. And the only other one was our man, Ninth Wonder. We were talking about who gets recognized at a Duke basketball game. And we were like, there's like Obama or Jerry Seinfeld. And then we were calling people like, there's local celebrities who, like, if you know Ninth Wonder, you know what he looks like in this game. But like, the average fan isn't walking around and being like, look at that. It's a super famous person. And I thought we were very clear that Ninth Wonder was like, this is amazing. And I don't think he liked being called local celebrity. He was like, I'm known in a lot of places. And I tried to explain that's not what it was. I was like, agreed. But compared to Obama and Seinfeld, you kind of are, even though I have much respect for your work. You're kind of a local celebrity there. So
I'm gone for the next 2 weeks, Joe. But when I come back, would you like to hear about Robbie Knievel trying to sell me his used car?
Yes, please.
Alrighty.
That sounds like a
tease.
tease to me. And that sounds like a chance for me to hit the button. It requires me being on the right button, though. And you got something on buttons over there? A plus? We made it. Hey, man, thanks for helping me this week. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me in.
And get those tickets to the Sports Podcast Festival, August 24th at the Rialto. It's therialto.com. I will be out next week. Joe will be here. Then there's no OG the next week. That feels like a big milestone for us. We're taking a week off.
Who's guest hosting with Ovius? Is it Ben Swain?
Well, you're not going to be.
Yeah, I'm going to be out of the country.
See what you did there. Probably Lauren. Yes. And you almost made it.